Before we dive in, drop a comment with the city you're watching from. Let's see where this story travels. He was just driving through Jersey when he spotted a bag on the roadside. Donald Trump picked it up, but what he found inside stopped him cold. That small discovery sparked a journey he never expected, and it might just inspire you too. The New Jersey Turnpike stretched gray under a November dusk, a faint mist curling from the asphalt, headlights slicing through the haze. Donald Trump sat in the back of the black sedan, his coat folded beside him, the hum of tires steady after a golf course meeting in Bedminster. At 79, he'd built a life louder than most: towers, campaigns, a name that echoed far, but tonight, the road felt heavy, the day's chatter fading into a quiet he didn't seek. He wasn't looking for meaning, just home to Trump Tower, when Mike, his driver, slowed, lights catching a worn bag slumped on the shoulder, half buried in leaves. "Boss," Mike said, glancing back, voice low. "Looks lost, bag out there. Grab it or roll." Trump squinted, the bag small, frayed, no owner in sight, just leaves and dusk. His gut tugged, a memory of Fred, his dad, stopping once in Queens, picking up a kid's dropped glove, gruff but kind. "Pull over," he said, sharp, surprising himself. "Let's see nobody's claiming it." Mike eased onto the shoulder, hazards blinking, Secret Service trailing a car back, silent but alert. Trump stepped out, air cool, mist damp on his face, no coat, just a sweater, jeans, a man nobodied clock twice. The bag was canvas, zipper torn, mud-caked but heavy. He knelt, brushing leaves, and tugged it open, papers, a sock, and there, glinting dull, a medal, star-shaped, ribbon faded, inscribed, "Vietnam Service, 1968. His breath caught, a soldier's honor, left to rot. He turned it over, heart kicking, a name etched faint, C. Jenkins. No phone, no ID, just the medal, heavy, real, a life lost out here. Mary's voice drifted, quiets where you find yourself, Friday dinners, her eyes teaching small, not big. He'd built loud, towers, power, but this wasn't loud, it was someone's truth, worth picking up. "Mike," he called, voice low, bags coming, soldier stuff. Mike nodded, trunk popping, Trump sliding back in, bag on his lap, medal in hand. "War heroes gear," Mike said, pulling out. "You keeping it?" "Nah," Trump said, honest, mist streaking the window. "Finding him Jenkins. Worth something." The sedan rolled, Jersey's dusk fading, Manhattan looming distant. His mind stayed on the bag canvas, torn, Jenkins' name. Claire flashed, his granddaughter, 24, West Coast, no call back. Barron, tech deep, texted soon, dad but distant. Small lifts big. He'd chased Fred's grit, deals, wins, but Mary's quiet, giving, seeing was here, in this medal, a vow he'd ignored too long. He grabbed his phone, texting Lila, his assistant, Vietnam medal, found, Turnpike, C. Jenkins, 1968. Track him, quiet. She replied fast, "Medal? You're weird, done." He smirked, tucking the medal in his pocket, its weight heavier than gold. Who was Jenkins? Alive, lost, forgotten? He didn't know, not yet, but the star burned, raw, steady, a call he couldn't dodge. Back in Trump Tower, the penthouse was warm, Melania in the den, her book open, wine glowing. "Late," she said, glancing up, eyes sharp but soft. "What's that?" She nodded at the bag, mud streaked on the floor. "Found it, Turnpike," he said, sinking beside her, medal out, glinting dull. "Soldiers, Jenkins, Vietnam. Stirring me? Bad." She took it, ribbon frayed under her fingers, her smile faint but deep. Mary's heart, helping, quiet. She'd see him, you too. "What's it saying?" "Dunno," he said, honest, rubbing his neck. "Says I built loud, towers, campaigns." Missed her, small, real. Claire, barren, no calls. Like I lost M, chasing big. You're looking, she said, firm, handing it back. Metal's him, calling you. Find him real. Real, he echoed, smirking rough. Small lifts big. The bag sat heavy, papers, a sock, Jenkins' truth. He'd meant to toss it, move on, but the metal burned. A soldier's life, unseen, worth lifting. Claire, Baron, could he reach them? He didn't know, not yet, but the star was a vow, raw, real, whispering louder than any deal he'd closed. He stood, pacing to the window, Manhattan cold, sharp. Lila texted Jenkins, Carl, alive, Easton, Pennsylvania Veterans Center, rough shape, closing soon. Meet him? He typed back, said it quiet. The skyline glittered, but Easton pulled Jenkins, a center, Mary's quiet. He'd go, no agenda, just the metal, and for once, that was enough. Steady, worth everything he'd chase next. The Trump Tower penthouse was bathed in a Tuesday morning stillness, Manhattan's skyline glinting cold beyond the vast windows, a faint hum of traffic rising from below. Donald Trump sat at his desk, the Vietnam Service Medal, C. Jenkins, 1968, resting beside a cooling coffee mug, its faded ribbon stark under the lamp's glow. A day had passed since he'd found it in that muddy bag on the Jersey Turnpike, felt its weight stir a quiet he hadn't sought. At 79, he'd built a life louder than most, towers, campaigns, a name that echoed far, but the metal, Carl Jenkins' name, had rooted deep, raw and steady, whispering a truth he'd ignored for decades. Today, he'd chase it, no plan, just Easton's call pulling him north. He sipped his coffee, black and sharp, the penthouse hushed, Melania at a meeting downtown, Baron's absence a familiar ache. Yesterday's find replayed the bag's torn canvas, Jenkins' star, a soldier's honor left to rot. He'd called Claire again, his granddaughter, 24, West Coast, voicemail, no reply. Baron texted busy, Dad, soon but distant like always. Mary's voice drifted, small lifts big, Friday dinners, her eyes teaching quiet over Fred's grit. He'd chased his dad's path deals, wins, but Jenkins was Mary's kind, small, unseen, worth finding. The phone buzzed Lila, his assistant, with an update. Carl Jenkins, 77, Easton, Pennsylvania, veteran, lives alone. Centers broke, closing next month. He'll meet noon, quiet. You sure? He typed back, sure, dig deeper, centers needs. No noise. She replied, metal's got you, done. He smirked, setting the phone down, the metal heavy beside his mug. Jenkins' face was a blank, old, tired, proud, but his story burned, a life tied to that star, worth more than gold. Melania's key turned, her heels soft, coat slung over her arm, eyes sharp but warm. Still with that metal, she said, nodding at it, her smile faint but deep, settling across from him. Yeah, he said, lifting it, ribbon frayed under his thumb. Jenkins, Vietnam vet, Easton. Found it roadside, his bag. Stirring me? Bad. She leaned closer, peering at the star, her voice soft. Mary's heart seeing, giving. She'd find him, you're her. What's it doing? Dunno, he said, honest, rubbing his neck. Says I built loud, towers, campaigns. Missed her, small, real. Claire, Baron, no calls. Like I'm shouting, no echo. You're listening, she said, firm, touching his hand. Metal's him, calling you back. Easton's real, go meet. Meet, he echoed, smirking rough. Small lifts big. Jenkins' star lingered, dull, heavy, a soldier's truth. He'd meant to hand it off, move on, but the metal burned a life, unseen, worth lifting. Claire, Baron, could he reach them? He didn't know, not yet, but the star was a vow, raw, real, pushing him out. The door buzzed, Lila, early, tablet glowing, her eyes catching the metal quick. Morning, Donald, she said, sliding it down. Easton set Jenkins at the center noon. Place is rough leaks, no funds. That's losing it. You going? Yeah, he said, standing, medal in hand. Found his star? Stirred me. Center's mom's kind feels mine. Lila's eyebrow raised, nodding slow. Hers? Deep, usually you're the storm. Claire call. Nah, he said, throat tight. Voicemail, Baron texted, vague. Trying feels like running, no finish. Keep running, she said, softer, tapping her screen. Easton's small, hurting, like Jenkins. Volunteers gone, shelves empty. Funds could move, no press. Maybe, he said, smirking faint. Check it hands, food, no noise. Done, she said, door clicking shut. He grabbed his coat, texting Mike, Easton now quiet. Mike shot back, star guy sunk, rolling. Trump chuckled, slipping the medal into his pocket. See, Jenkins, 1968. Jenkins' story flashed. War, loss, a center closing, a life worth seeing. He'd built loud, rallies, power, but this was small, steady, a call he'd answer, no stage, just truth. The sedan cut through Jersey, Manhattan's glitter fading, Easton rising, small, gray, factories silent, Delhi's flickering neon. The Veteran Center sat on a side street, brick cracked, a sign Easton Bet's hub, half hanging. He stepped out, air cold with leaves, the building worn but proud, like Mary's heart. The door creaked open, a volunteer, 40s, ponytail, aproned, nodding him in. Inside smelled of coffee and dust, walls lined with faded photos, soldiers, flags, chairs empty, a table bare. He moved slow, footsteps soft, the silence thick, not empty, full of ghosts. A man appeared, 70s, lean, gray beard, eyes sharp under a worn cap, leaning on a cane. His face creased, cautious but kind. You the guy, he said, voice gravelly. I'm Carl Jenkins. Heard you found something. Donald, Trump said, hands up, voice low, pulling the medal out, star glinting dull. This, yours, Turnpike. Thought you'd want it. Carl's eyes locked on it, hand trembling as he took it, ribbon fraying under his fingers. Hell, thought it was gone, he said, voice catching. Bag stolen weeks back. You kept it? Had to, Trump said, honest, watching him, tired, proud, real. Vietnam, yours. Tough road. Tough's my name, Carl said, half smiling, clutching the star. Lost friends, 68, Da Nang. Came home. Nobody cared. This, he tapped it, kept me going. Center's home now, closing, though. Trump's chest tightened, closing. Heard rough shape, he said, softer. Mom taught giving, saw your star, felt mine. Worth saving. Everything, Carl said, eyes fierce. Vets eat, talk keeps us here. Funds dry, month's end, done. You? Pitching in. Dunno, he said, honest, looking at the photos, soldiers, hope. Your medal. Stirred me. Start small, funds, hands, talk to me. Carl's mouth twitched, a tired grin. Trouble, good kind. Okay, Donald, walk it. Show me. They stood, center still, his star of vow, Mary's quiet, Easton's heart, worth lifting. He didn't know how not yet, but the medal held, steady, real, whispering louder than any deal he'd closed. The Easton Veteran Center stood weathered, but unbowed under a Wednesday morning frost, its cracked brick catching Pennsylvania's pale light, a faint murmur of voices drifting from within. Donald Trump stepped from the sedan, Carl Jenkins' Vietnam service medal safe in his coat pocket, its weight, C. Jenkins, 1968, echoing alongside Carl's words from yesterday, Center's home, closing, though. 2 days since he'd met the old soldier, 3 since he'd found the medal on that misty turnpike, and the pull, small, real, lifting, had dug deeper, raw and steady, a vow he couldn't turn from. At 79, he'd built a life that thundered, Towers, campaigns, a name carved wide, but Easton's quiet, Carl's tired eyes, had anchored him, pushing him to carry, not just return, but stay. Mike parked a block over, Secret Service light, blending into Easton's slow churn. No jacket today, just a gray sweater, jeans, a man slipping into a faded street. The town hummed, kids trudging to school, deli steam curling, stoops empty but worn. He'd told Melania, it's real, going back, and she'd smiled. Baron texting, might visit. Dad, Claire silent, no reply to his latest call. The center's sign, Easton Bet's hub, hung crooked, but its pulse beat, like Mary's giving, steady, worth saving. He pushed the creaky door, air thick, coffee, dust, a faint clang of chairs. The lobby stirred, photos of soldiers on walls, a table with stale donuts, a handful of vets, old, some younger, sipping mugs, eyes distant or sharp. Carl stood by a bulletin board, support group, food drive, cane tapping, gray beard neat, his cap straight. A woman, 30s, scrubs, dark braid, sorted files nearby, her gaze quick, kind. Carl spotted him, grin breaking slow. Donald, back for more? Metal's safe, your funds hit. Trump nodded, smirking at the board, new flyers, pin tight. Told you funds, hands, done. Closing still. Not yet, Carl said, waving him over, cane steady. Your cash heat's on, food's here. Fire's ours, meet Lena. The woman looked up, eyes sharp but warm, extending a hand. Lena, nurse, volunteer, she said, voice clear. Heard you found Carl's star, good move. You're helping. Yeah, Trump said, shaking firm, voice low. Donald, met Carl, stirred me. Center's rough, worth saving. Everything, Lena said, eyes fierce, files down. Vets heal, talk, eat, live. Funds dry, month's end. Gone. You serious? Serious, he said. Honest, metal warm, small lifts big. Carl's star, mom taught seeing, giving. Start small, funds, food, talk to me. Carl's grin widened, leaning on his cane. Lena's Easton fixes us, fights hard. Like your mom, tough, real. Tough's life, Lena said, shrugging, stacking files. Center was home, groups, meals, hope. Closing break Carl others. You're pitching real. Dead real, Trump said, meeting her eyes. Carl sparked my turn. Name it shelves, jobs, real stuff. Lena nodded, slow, like she saw past the name. All right, carry it. Vets need food, talk, lifts They walked halls, rooms bare. A gym with worn mats, photos of wars, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq. Carl pointed, counseling here, meals there, his cane a map of hope. Vets come broken, lost, he said. Center holds till now. Your funds stocks up, hands short. Hands, Trump said, mental notes piling, food, jobs, hands. Got it, volunteers, pay. More? Fixes, Lena said, pausing by a leak-stained wall. Roof drips, wiring's old, winter's mean. Groups, counselors, not temps. You got that? Got it, he said, nodding sharp. Roof, wire's mine. Counselors, talk to me. Carl chuckled, cane tapping. Trouble, good kind. Like 68, grit, no flash. You're her, your mom. Trump's chest tightened, her. Maybe, he said, smirking faint. Families drifting, Claire, Baron, no calls. Trying feels like shouting, no echo. Shout harder, Carl said. Steady, eyes sharp, like he saw more. My son gone, didn't shout enough. You're here means something. He grunted, surprised means something. Deep for a cane guy, he said, grinning rough. Easton's deep, Carl shot back, half smiling. Centers you, hold it, you hold more. Lena joined, files done. You got kids, she asked, voice low, eyes keen. Same, Trump said, throat tight. Claire grandkid, 24, West Coast. Baron son, tech, slow talk. Tried calls, texts, faint echo. Feels I missed chasing loud. Chasing's real, Lena said, nodding. My dad, vet, left us, worked no time. You're here, trying's half. Keep it families like wounds, heal slow. Trump's chest caught, heal slow. Deep for a nurse, he said, smirking faint. Easton's deep, Lena said, grinning sharp. Stick, you'll learn. A vet, 50s, scars on his arm, shuffled in, mug shaking, eyes down. Carl nodded, Lena moving fast, her voice soft, hey, Joe, coffee's hot. The center hummed, chairs scraping, mugs clinking, hope flickering. Mary's voice hit, small lifts big, Friday dinners, her eyes teaching Carrie, not win. Easton wasn't a stage, not a deal, just small, broken, worth holding. Claire, Baron, could he lift them? Lena's voice broke, tomorrow meet vets, plan fixes. You in? Count it, he said, eyes steady. Roof, hands mine. Start small, hold real. Deal, she said, files a vow, turning to Joe. He lingered, metal heavy, carry two. The center pulsed, dust, grit, possibility worth more than any deal. Back in the sedan, Mike grinned. Vet guy now, boss? Smell like coffee. Yeah, Trump said, metal warm. Walls talk, real stuff. Mike laughed, pulling out. Sunk deep, done. Trump texted Lila. Easton roof, counselors, hands. Quiet, fast. She replied, star hero? Done. The penthouse was warm, Melania waiting, her smile soft, tea steaming. Easton, she said, book down, eyes sharp. Yeah, he said, sinking beside her, metal out. Met Carl, Lena, tough, real. Centers breathing, vets talking. Carl's star, mine now. Her eyes glowed, squeezing his hand. That's you, lifting, not loud. Married nod, you're real. Real, he echoed, grinning rough. Small lifts big. Easton burned, vets, hope, faces Claire, Baron, unseen but worth lifting. He'd built big, gold, power, but this, small, steady, was a truth he'd hold, whispering louder than any deal he'd closed. The Easton Veteran Center stood sturdier under a Thursday noon frost, its brick walls catching Pennsylvania's sharp light, the hum of hammers and voices echoing from within. Donald Trump stepped from the sedan, Carl Jenkins' Vietnam service medal safe in his coat pocket, its weight, C. Jenkins, 1968, blending with Carl's words center holds till now. 3 days since he'd walked its halls with Carl and Lena, 4 since he'd found the medal, and the vow small, real, lifting had grown fiercer, raw and steady, a fire he wouldn't let fade. At 79, he'd built a life that roared, towers, campaigns, a name carved wide, but Easton's pulse, its vet's eyes, had rooted him, pushing him to hold, not just fix, but build. Today, he'd dig deeper, hands in, no turning back. Mike parked a block over, Secret Service light, blending into Easton's quiet churn, no sweater today, just a plain jacket, jeans, a man easing into a worn street. The town buzzed, kids hauling lunch bags, deli steam swirling, stoops alive with morning talk. He'd told Melania, it's growing, I'm in, and she'd smiled. Baron calling, coming tomorrow. Dad, Claire texting, I'll call, Grandpa. The center's sign, Easton Vet's hub, hung straighter, paint fresh, like Mary's heart, worth lifting. He pushed the door, air shifting, coffee, fresh paint, a clang of tools. The lobby stirred, soldier photos retouched, a table piled with food, cans, bread, vets chatting, chairs full. Carl leaned by a new bulletin board, counseling, meals, jobs, cane tapping, gray beard trimmed, eyes sharp. Lena sorted supplies, bandages, snacks, her braid tight, scrubs crisp. A man, 60s, burly, scars on his knuckles, fixed a light, his grunt low, focused. Carl spotted him, grin wide. Donald back again? Center's humming, your funds roar. Trump smirked, nodding at the board, flyers thick, pin neat. Told you a roof, hands done. Closing off. Not now, Carl said, waving him over, cane steady. Your cash, wires fixed, counselors hired. Fires ours, meet Frank. The man looked up, wiping sweat, handshake like iron. Frank, that nom too, he said, voice gruff. Heard you found Carl's star, good call. Your sting. Yeah, Trump said, grip firm, voice low. Donald, Carl's metal hit me. Center's hurting, worth holding. Everything, Frank said, eyes hard but warm, tools down. Vets breathe, talk, heal. Was gone till you. Serious? Serious, he said, honest, metal warm, small lifts big. Carl sparked, mom taught seeing, giving. Start small, food, jobs, talk to me. Lena grinned, supplies sorted. Frank's Easton fought, fixed stayed. Like Carl, tough, real? Tough's war, Frank said, shrugging, grabbing a bulb. Center was life, meals, groups, hope. Near dead, your haul. Your pitching real. Dead real, Trump said, meeting his eyes. Carl's star, my turn. Name it shelves, counselors, real stuff. Frank nodded, slow, like he saw past the name. All right, carry it. Vets need trust, lift souls. They walked, halls brighter, rooms active, a gym with new mats. Lena pointed, therapy here, meals there, her braid a beacon. Vets coming back, she said. Your funds, jobs up, food study. Trust slow, Easton scarred. Show M. Showings me, Trump said, smirking rough. Trust, hard for me too. Families drifting, Claire, barren, slow calls. Like I'm hauling, no anchor. Lena's eyes softened, steady. Haul harder, they hear, even faint. You're here holding. Means something. He grunted, surprised, means something. Deep for a bandage gal, he said, grinning. Easton's deep, she shot back, laughing. Stick, you'll feel it. Carl joined, cane tapping. You got kids? He asked, voice low, eyes keen. Same. Trump said, throat tight. Claire, grandkid, 24, West Coast. Texted, closer. Farron, son, tech, talking more. Tried calls, texts, faint echo. Feels I missed chasing loud. Chasing's war, Carl said, nodding, star in his mind. My girl lost her, didn't call enough. You're here, trying's half. Keep it families like scars, heals slow. Trump's chest caught, heals slow. Deep for a metal guy, he said, smirking faint. Easton's deep, Carl said, grinning rough. Centers you, hold it, you hold more. Frank paused, light fixed, scars glinting. Family, he asked, voice gruff, eyes hard. Same, Trump said, throat tight. Claire, barren, warming, slow. Trying feels like climbing, no peak. Climb on, Frank said, steady, like he saw more. My son gone, didn't climb enough. You're early, means something. He grunted, surprised, means something. Deep for a wrench guy, he said, grinning. Easton's deep, Frank shot back, chuckling. Stick, you'll learn. A vet, 40s, prosthetic leg, limped in, mug steady, eyes wary. Lena nodded, Carl moving slow, his voice low, hey, Mike, soup's up. The center hummed, chairs creaking, mugs clinking, hope flickering. Mary's voice hit, small lifts big, Friday dinners, her eyes teaching Carrie, not win. Easton wasn't a stage, not a deal, just small, scarred, worth holding. Claire, Baron, could he lift them? Carl's voice broke, tomorrow, vets meeting, plan jobs. You in? Count it, he said, eyes steady. Roof, counselors, mine. Start small, hold real. Deal, Carl said, cane a vow, turning to Mike. He lingered, metal heavy, small lifts big. The center pulsed, grit, hope, possibility worth more than any deal. Back in the sedan, Mike grinned. Fixer now, boss? Smell like paint. Yeah, Trump said, metal warm. Walls breathe real stuff. Mike laughed, pulling out. Sunk deep, done. Trump texted Lila. Easton, food, counselors, jobs. Quiet, fast. She replied, Vet King? Done. The penthouse was warm, Melania waiting, her smile soft, wine glowing. Easton, she said, glass down, eyes sharp. Yeah, he said, sinking beside her, metal out. Met Carl, Lena, Frank, tough, real. Centers waking, Vet's healing. Carl's star, mine now. Her eyes glowed, squeezing his hand. That's you, holding, not loud. Married nod, you're real. Real, he echoed, grinning rough. Small lifts big, Easton burned, vets, hope, faces Claire, barren, unseen but worth lifting. He'd built big, gold, power, but this, small, steady, was a truth he'd hold, whispering louder than any deal he'd closed. The Easton Veterans Center glowed warm under a Friday evening dusk, its brick walls catching Pennsylvania's fading light, laughter and clinking mugs spilling through open doors. Donald Trump stood in the freshly paved lot, Carl Jenkins' Vietnam Service Medal in his coat pocket, its weight, C. Jenkins, 1968, now a vow woven into the hum of voices inside. For days since he'd fixed lights with Carl, Lena, and Frank, 5 since he'd found the medal on that misty turnpike, and the call, small, real, lifting, had become his own, raw and steady, a fire that held fast. At 79, he'd built a life that roared, towers, campaigns, a name carved wide, but Easton's soul, its vet-steady eyes, had reshaped him, not to conquer, but to carry. Tonight, the center reopened, and he was here not for praise, but to stand with them. Mike parked nearby, Secret Service light, blending into the crowd, no suit, just a navy shirt, jeans, a man among Easton's own. The town pulsed, kids chasing fireflies, deli trays shared on stoops, a guitar strumming low. He told Melania, it's theirs, come, and she was inside, Baron beside her, his arm around him. This is it. Dad, Claire there too, her hug tight, proud, Grandpa. The center's sign, Easton Vet's hub, shone new, no cracks, like Mary's heart, worth lifting. He stepped in, the lobby alive, soldier photos reframed, walls painted, a table piled with food, soup, pies, bread. Carl stood by a packed bulletin board, counseling, jobs, meals, cane gone, cap straight, eyes bright. Lena handed out mugs, her braid loose, scrubs swapped for a dress, her laugh sharp. Frank fixed a chair, scars glinting, his grunt warm as vets chatted around him. Carl spotted him, grin wide, crossing over. Donald, made it, he said, voice clear. Center's breathing, your hands lit it. Trump grinned, nodding at the board, flyers thick, jobs listed. Told you, roof, counselors done. Your star, good fire. Fires us, Carl said, laughing, pulling him in. Come, Lena's got plans. The main room thrummed, chairs full, vets young and old, families mixed in, a guitar weaving soft with a kid's harmonica. Lena stood by a new job wall, drivers, therapists, cooks, greeting folks, her smile fierce. Frank hauled a tray, sandwiches, steaming, nodding as he passed. Lena saw him, eyes glowing. Road guy, centers alive. Married nod, your mark. Trump's chest tightened, your mark. Not mine, ours, he said. Honest, metal warm, small lifts big. Carl sparked, Easton built. Job's good. Rock solid, Lena said, pointing to the wall, names scrawled. Dozens hired. Counselors, cooks, vets healing, eating. Kid painted that, she nodded to a mural hands, flags, hope. Lights back, you carried it. Carried it, he echoed, smirking faint. Food, hands, yours too. Worth it. Everything, Frank said, tray down, scars glinting, his voice gruff but warm. You showed, saved souls. Carl tugged him to a corner, no stage, just a mic, vets turning, faces open. Carl, Lena, Frank, Melania glowing, Baron and Claire near. Speak, Carl said, eyes daring. Folks need it real, not loud. He paused, Mary's voice burning, small lifts big. He'd built loud rallies, deals, but here, Easton's hum, mugs, murmurs, Carl's nod, was real, worth more than gold. Claire hugged him. I'm here, Grandpa. Baron grinned. Got your back, Dad. He tried calls, texts, and they heard, slow, steady. Small lifts big. This was it, not his name, but there's a home for all, not one. He took the mic, crowd hushing, faces lifting, vets, families, Easton's core. Easton, he said, voice low, steady, no flash, just him. Found a medal, Carl's roadside, 68. Returned it, thought that's it. He showed me center, you vets, hope, built big, towers, campaigns, thought that's real. Missed it, small's truth. The room stilled, eyes steady, kids, soldiers, Easton's heart. Carl, Lena, Frank, you built this, he said, voice catching, pulling the medal out, star glinting. Funds mine, jobs too, but hope's ours. Vets heal, families eat Easton's big, not small. My mom, Mary, taught carrying, you're her truth. He handed the medal to Carl, who clutched it, eyes wet, crowd cheering soft, then fierce, hands clapping, kids whooping. Lena hugged him, Frank nodding, Carl's cane back, steady, trouble, good trouble. Melania's hand found his, Baron's nod warm, you did it, Dad. Claire's eyes shone, love you. The guitar soared, food passed, hope no longer faint. Trump stepped back, Mary's voice pulsing, small lifts big. He'd meant it, not gold, but this, faces, lives, worth every heavy load. Years later, Easton would stand, center thriving, vets healing, jobs steady, a beacon where small held big. Claire settled near, weekly talks, her laugh his win. Baron built tech for counseling, closer, real. Trump would walk Easton, Carl's arm linked, Lena's stories echoing, good trouble, Donald, and they'd stay, lifting hope, steady, real. Papers called it Trump's truth, not campaigns, but Easton, a mark not his alone. But that Friday, he stood, Melania close, Baron and Claire near, the center humming, worth everything. He slipped outside, dusk soft, Easton alive. A kid 14, that son, cap low, ran up. Mister, Dad's talking again, cause of this place. Trump knelt, grinning rough. Talk big, dream bigger. The kid nodded, darting off, Easton's hum wrapping him laughter, music, hope. He held the moment, Carl's star, Mary's voice real. Small lifts big. He'd built it, not gold, but this, and it held, whispering louder than any deal he'd closed. What did you think of Donald's story? Drop your thoughts below, rate it 0 to 10. Tell us what hit you hardest. When's the last time a small find, yours or someone's, sparked something bigger? Share it with us. What's your medal moment? Keep this going because sometimes the quiet lifts everything.